I can't say enough about volunteers and the impact that they make. We wouldn't have a lot of our organizations and clubs if people weren't willing to step up and make a difference.
We are primarily a volunteer-run organization, so without every single one of our volunteers, there wouldn't be a Girl Guide program in Canada.
Well, really, without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to operate. We have volunteers that work with our association on a local level to help us with the coaching, with management, with trainers. We have parent volunteers that help us with jerseys, that help us with the management of the games.
The community has been served by an abundance of volunteers for over 25 years.
Well, they mean everything to our organization. We're 100% operated by volunteers. Our volunteers come from all sorts of professional and business and life experience backgrounds, and they all uniquely lend their time and talent to our organization, which we're very thankful for.
Volunteers to us mean the world to our organization. We couldn't function without our volunteers, and I'm constantly inspired by the countless time and energy and effort that our volunteers pour into our organization.
Our volunteers are our frontline people. They're the first people that you see when you walk in the theatre, and to us they mean the world. They are friendly and helpful, and without them we really honestly couldn't do any of our performances.
Without volunteers we don't have coaches and we don't have teams, so no organisation in a nutshell.
Well, for me, the memorable moment was the 2008 Alberta Winter Games. We needed 2,500 volunteers. We actually had to cut it off at 2,700 volunteers. But it showed our community what we could do when we came together. Not just in coming out and enjoying a sport, but participating in making sure that it was a success. It was our first real big wow moment as a community, and I don't think that that could have happened if it wouldn't have been for the volunteers.
My personal experiences where those most memorable moments happen when we see a girl who is stepping out of her comfort zone and experiencing something new, surprising herself with what she can do, and breaking out of that shell, so to speak.
With the push for the volunteers that we required for the Canadian Ringette Championships, everything was in line for the event with the exception of volunteers, and we were behind. We probably had half of what we need, and in the span of 3 or 4 days we were able to fill every position that we needed to be filled, and it just shows the fantastic volunteers that we have here in the community of Leduc.
One of the most memorable things, or some of them that happen to us, is that we don't always know the end of the story. People come in at a low point in their life for help, and we try to give them as much help as possible, but we don't know what happens from there on. Sometimes though, maybe months later, someone will come back through the door, want to pay us back some of the financial support that we gave them, and then the ultimate has been that they then turned around and become volunteers for our organization.
And memorable moments to me happen on a weekly basis with our volunteers. I love we can come together, work hard, serve our community, fulfill people's purpose, and have a ridiculous amount of fun all at the same time.
I think the most positive impact the volunteers have had on the McLeod Centre is actually between themselves. I find that the volunteers really enjoy coming. They've all made friendships that have lasted for years.
Watching the kids learn new skills and putting those into gameplay, and that's where you see the positive influence.
So what I would want to share with the community on behalf of Girl Guides in Leduc is a big thank you.
And I think without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to, I'm not talking tournaments, I'm talking about the kids playing the sport themselves.
Well, I think I'd like to say that we're really proud of what we've accomplished in the community with volunteer help.
I would say a huge thank you to all the volunteers in our community.
Priceless.
Dream makers.
Friendly.
Community builders.
Selfless.
Inspirational.
Selfless.
The dedicated.
I want to speak to every one of you that are in the room today and say thank you. You are such an integral part of our community. You're really the glue that holds a community together and makes sure that we can have programs and services in our community. And, you know, on behalf of council, I just want to say thank you.